we ended up going to see my doctor on a Tuesday evening. And again, that was a little like concerning because he's saying like, yeah, you were only at 37 weeks. I think I was really at 38 weeks. And he's like,
Mhm.
you're only at 37 weeks. No, I guess he thought that I was 38 and I thought that I was at 39. Doesn't matter. And he's like, so we don't have to worry for like another 3 weeks about inducing you. And of course, I'm now thinking to myself, like, well, what if I am actually closer to 39 weeks and I
Mhm.
go over? And he's like, yeah, your placenta is pretty calcified at this point in time, but that's normal. And I'm like, do I need to be worried about if they are going to induce me? Like, is there going to be enough oxygen? And because I didn't know anything about placenta calcification, like,
Mhm.
and he's like, yeah, we don't have to be worried. But I asked him to check me. I wanted to know if I was dilated or effaced at all. And he's like, are you
Mhm.
sure? We don't really do that. And I was like, no, I want to know. And
Mhm.
thankfully, I was 3 centimeters dilated and fully effaced. And I'm hopeful that like all of those contractions were like fully effacing me, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
in hindsight, I'm glad that I, like got something out of that, right?
Yeah.
Um, so then the next day it happened and I almost didn't believe that I was in labor because the contractions were so different. Like with Adriana, they were the typical what you read about, like start in the back, they're a wave, they come into the front, they move down. These contractions only felt like a really, really intense period cramp. And I wonder if that's because like I just needed to dilate this time and not efface, right? I don't know. The
Yeah.
thinkings that were going through my head as I'm having these contractions, I was like,
Mhm.
it's because I'm already fully effaced. It's because this,
Mhm.
but they were just really super, super intense period cramps. And we got to the hospital. It was my husband's decision to come to the hospital because I was like, no, this isn't labor. Like, they were only 30 seconds, right? And here with Adriana, they were 2 minutes, and these were
Yeah.
only 30 seconds. They came so randomly, like every 5 minutes, then every 7 minutes, then 3 minutes, but they didn't stop. And we got to the hospital, and it happened so quick. I went from when we got to the hospital, I was 4 centimeters, and that was like 7:30. 20
Mhm.
minutes later, they checked me. I was at 6. 20 minutes later, I was at 8. 20 minutes later, I was at 9. And what was amazing was that there was no pain in between the contractions. Like with Adriana, where I was super exhausted, no
Mhm.
pain in between contractions. This time we were smart. I ate the entire time. Like we were at home. I am like
Mhm.
eating an apple with peanut butter. I'm like drinking a protein shake, like anything I could to try and like keep my energy up. I'm eating
Yeah.
Jolly Ranchers the entire time in the hospital, like just trying to stay on it. So I felt so much more coherent. Um,
Mhm.
and then my water didn't break until I started to push. And I kept asking, like, should we be breaking my water? Should we be breaking my water? And they were like, no, no,
Mhm.
it's better. The longer you wait, the better, which I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The midwives were so involved. So they asked me as soon as we got to the hospital, natural birth or um, do you want a medicated birth? And then they put you in different rooms, at least in
Yeah.
this hospital, right? Based on
Yeah.
what you want. And
Mhm.
so again, my room had a bathtub, it had a shower, it had a birthing ball, they had a whole projector screen if I wanted to watch a movie.
Oh my gosh.
Water, like, like a flowing water sound, essential oils, they had music, they dimmed the lights, they made the lights whatever color I wanted, like a spa
Amazing.
experience. It was amazing. It was everything that I could have wanted. They did have me do a birth plan. I brought that with me. I don't know if it was
Mhm.
ever looked at because they just asked me everything verbally.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't have to do any of the like, do you want to wait? We're going to see if you're really in labor.
Mhm.
Um, there's none of that. So it was quite nice. And just 3 pushes and he was out like super quick. First push, water broke. 2 pushes later, he was out. And I got to do it exactly how I wanted. Like they asked, what position do you want? And I said, all fours. What do you want?
Yes.
I want the birthing ball. And they were on it. They knew, and what was the best part too is that Martin was allowed to be as involved as he wanted, right? And he was right
Mhm.
there, and they just filled themselves in, right? They were like, oh, she needs a back massage, oh, she needs this, like. And I feel so grateful for those midwives. Like I wish I could go back and thank them, right? Because they were just so incredible. It was a great birth. I wish
I
every
love
birth could be like that.